Hey guys, this is the set first pivot of lead code problem. So it says we have to convert the 1D array into the 2D array. As it says, it's an easy problem. So we just have to convert these 1D array into the 2D array. What we have is an 1D array along with the how many rows and how many columns of 2D array we have to construct he told. So and then our output has to be a 2D array with this the given which depends on this given information, how many rows, how many columns, and the one day array. So I'll just copy and paste this image onto this. So as I said, these three are the indices of one day array. So for indices of 2D, so we have 0 0 0 and here it is 1 and here it is 1. Okay, let's understand how we have to place the elements of 1D array into the elements of 2D array. For this row, we don't get any problem because we directly print, okay, this is a 2D array, right? So 2D array of I and J has to be a 1D array of J. I don't know. Yeah, I know you are already aware of what is I and what is J. So I is nothing but a row name, a row number, and J is nothing but a column number. So we have to iterate it from 0 to m, and we have to iterate it from 0 to n. So that's what the question says. The 2D array has to be a m number of rows and n number of columns. So that's why we created a 2D vector with these number of rows and these number of columns, and which is initially filled with the zeros, and then we have to replace the zeros with the first array element. So we have to know what is an equation in order to construct in order to place the elements from 1D, shift the elements from 1D to 2D. So actually this line successfully put the elements of 1D array into the 2D array. So you can check. So for j is equal to 0, array of 1D of 0 is 1. So which is placed into 2D of I, actually first row, right? So I has to be 0. So 0 0, so 1. And when j is equal to incremented to 1, so which is a second 2 element of 1D array that has to be shifted from 0, but this is also incremented, I mean sorry, 1. So 0 1, so we place that element, okay, 2 2. Okay, if we continue this process for the second array, what happens? So see here the second array, which indexes are nothing but 1 0. So here it is incremented, right? So 1 0 index has also the same element as a 0 0. So here it will be element 1, not the 3, if we follow this method. So we thought for a second. So how can we put this third element, element 3 value into the uh, coordinate 1 comma 0 of 2D array? So what is the coordinate 2 into the coordinate 1 comma 0? So this is actually a second row, right? So despite of thinking about what row we are present, we have to think what is a column, at what column we are there in first array. So we are there in first column. In first array, the column is 0 and the second column is 1. Okay, that's in that way we filled this first row. But in this second row, we have to know. So what is the element of the array? So you can simply think as the number of columns are n. So you just add n to the jth element, we can get the answer. Okay, but so if you do that, n is actually 0, n is not a 0, so it is 2. So then 2 plus 0, Yes, then 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. So we can fill the second index element here. Okay, successfully completed. And then incremented, what j value incremented. So j is 1. So for the 1 j, uh, so 2 plus 1, so which is 3. So third index element has to be placed here. But think about the first index. So if we do this process, n is equal to what? 2. So 2 plus 0th index. So 2. Yeah, first row has also the same element which contains the same. So that want to be that like if we do this index method, every row has the second row elements. Understand? So if you thought it only gives the column, what is the row? So row is nothing but I. I is nothing but row. So for the first row, the elements are only which are indexed at j clearly. So these n has to be 0. So for that, the first row is actually denoted by 0. So 0 into n, it will be at 0. So at 0th index. So then our condition is row, current row into number of columns plus j gives the equation to fill the 1D elements into the 2D elements. So you can test this. When it is 0, so first row of 2D array, so we fill the first row with the jth increment. So j initially equal to 0, and then incremented 1. Okay, and then j completed, and then second row. So now I incremented to 1 from 0. Okay, now 1 into 2 is actually equal to 2. So at the 2 size plus 0. So 2 plus 0, this element, so fill it third position at second row, and then j incremented. So 2 plus 3. So this uh, element, which is second element of second row, and then element completed, and then it come to the third row. So let's think that it has 3 rows. So that means n is equal to 3. So 3 rows, but m is equal to, sorry, m is equal to rows, right? So 3 rows, and n is equal to 2, so 2 columns. Now the I is incremented, that is 2. 2 into 2 is equal to 4. 4 plus 0. So now uh, the 3 2 comma 0 position element has to be a 4, 4. 4 plus 0 is equal to 4. So fourth index of first array. So 0 1 2 3. So here we incremented. So here this element has to be filled, and then that incremented. So the same process is applicable for this. That process has to be followed in order to fill the to the array. So see here, that's what I followed. The same thing what I told you on the intuition is follow that is followed by this code. Okay, so here m into m, uh, which is not equal to the original size. So if the number of rows and number of columns product is not actual original size, then we directly return. Why? Because we are not having that many elements of 2D array in the 1D array. So we have to return. So how many elements does an array, a 2D array have? So if we have 2 rows and 2 columns, then total number of elements are 4, right? So if 4 elements has to be the size of the first array. If it is not, we have to return. Okay, so that describes this base case. And now this line creates the 2D vector which fills the uh, initial value 0. Okay, of size m, into n. So that means m rows and n columns. Now this line actually uses my code. So for each row and for each column, we have to put the result of for that row and for that column is equal to the original element of I into j plus I mean I into n plus j. So here I is nothing but the row number where we are there, and n actually multiplied with I in order to give the current row number. I mean current index where we have to take from the first array plus j. Okay, so we filled that array and we use that we return that answer. I- if he say we so like the elements has to be transferred, we have to transpose this result array and then return that element. So this is about the shifting of one day elements into the two day arrays. Thank you for listening.